Well, hello and welcome to our Building Positive Relationship training. This one is titled Building Positive Relationships, Avoid Sending the Wrong Message. This is a training that Ricky and I put together about 4 years ago, actually. We had gone to ISSA and they had a wonderful piece about building positive relationships, and we thought this is one of the biggest things that we need to work on in our custodial department. So we need to make sure that we are those team players in our building and that we're building these good relationships, and some of the positive things that can come from that. We'll talk about that going forward. So let's get started, shall we? So, an overview, we're going to talk about get to know your customer, being transparent and honest, separate your feelings, listen, create a database, do something, apologize and actively sympathize, repeat your concerns, and we are in it together. So first up, getting to know your staff, the customer. So when you either start a new school year and you get a bunch of new teachers, or particularly when you are transferred to a new school. And if you're a head custodian, this is absolutely vital, but really for night custodians, this is good for pretty much anybody going to a new assignment. Introduce yourself. Initiate conversations with people, and we're mostly talking here about the faculty members. Ask about their interests and their concerns. Remember their name, which I'm terrible at, really bad with names. But once I remember it, I'll remember it the rest of my life, which is really good. The problem is it takes me forever to learn a name. And sometimes then you have to write down certain people, like the teacher in room 204 is, anyway. Remember their name. It goes a long way. You don't want to go up and hi, whoever you are. Doesn't go over well. Anyway, make a connection. And quite often that's kids or pets or hobbies or sports. Everybody's into something outside of work. And sometimes you never know what they are into that you might have some kind of a connection with. For example, let's say you're both dog lovers and you can talk a little bit about each other's pets, and that's a connection that you now have. That's something that will kind of bring you closer together as far as being able to talk and have a connection. And it's very good to take notes, because I can't always remember everything. Like I just said, I'm terrible as far as my memory goes. So take notes to help you remember names or other important details about a specific person who's on the staff. Being transparent and honest. Focus on providing a complete answer in response to a person's concerns. So quite often we are looked at as I was just going to say the complaint department, but the sounding board. Okay, a lot of times folks will come to us as custodians and bring their complaints, their concerns, whatever you want to call it, because they know that we quite often are known as the people that get things done. So when you need to provide an answer, make sure it's a complete answer. Be honest in your communication. Set reasonable expectations. For example, don't say, "Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to get that done immediately." A better answer is, "We'll get right on it, and we'll get it done as soon as we possibly can." Again, setting a reasonable expectation on something. If you promise something and you can't deliver, then you lose all of your integrity. Do research before making a response. For example, you'd think maybe painting the curb is really a quick and easy thing. And yeah, we can get that taken care of. I'm sure we'll have that done in a week. And then you come to find out that due to whatever circumstances, the process takes months. Then it really makes you, again, lose integrity. It doesn't make you look good at all. So do your research before making a response to people. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm not 100% sure, but let me check it out and I will get right back to you. People are okay with that. People are okay with you finding the right answer. They certainly don't want the wrong answer. Doing so, giving them the right answer, leaves the impression with that person that what they think matters to you and that they are a priority. And everybody wants to feel that they're important to somebody else. If you tell them, yes, I will get right on that, I'll check it out, I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can, that makes them feel as though they are a priority. And that's going to build a better bond. Again, along the lines of being transparent and honest, a reputation of honesty is crucial to building long-term relationships. You guys know that. Trust can be as important as the quality of service that you offer. So let's talk about oil changes, for example. If you go to get an oil change at Quickie Lube, whatever, do you really trust them? Is that somebody that you trust with your vehicle, that they're going to do the right thing, that they're going to put the right oil in, that they're going to check everything right, that they're going to make sure that everything is sealed back up properly, and that when they tell you something's wrong, that it really is wrong? Okay? You want to go to somebody that you know and that you trust is going to be able to service your vehicle properly, that you know they're going to put the right oil in, that you know that they're not going to overcharge you. So again, building a reputation of honesty is crucial to long-term relationships. Oh, I'm feeling a little dingy, I guess. Be honest about any problems you encounter. If you can't meet a deadline or encounter difficulties on a specific service, notify the person immediately. Let them know, hey, I told you that we would be able to get that done this afternoon. Here's the problem. I've had some other things come up that are, it's not that what you have, it's not that what you have is not a priority. These other things are an absolutely emergency. They're absolutely got to be done right now. I won't be able to get your whatever taken care of until tomorrow. I'm very sorry. I've encountered these difficulties. So again, doing that builds a level of trust that, okay, I can trust this person, that they're going to follow up and at least let me know that they've run into these issues. Again, building that reputation. Here's a big one for all of us. Separate your feelings. I don't care what job you're in, and as a matter of fact, just going through life. If a person is angry or rude, don't always take it personally. Well, just don't take it personally, period. That person is upset with a certain situation, such as business, a service, or a product. They are not upset with you as a person. Set your feelings aside. Here's a great example. You are the evening custodian, let's say, and you come in, and there is a patron of the school. It's in the wintertime. There's a patron of the school who comes to you and said, I just saw some little old lady fall and slip out there on the ice. You got to get that cleaned up. What is wrong with you? How come that's not taken care of? You know what? Don't take it personally. You just got on the job. You just barely clocked in and got on the job. Okay? That person is upset with the situation. So you do need to listen to them. Speaking of which, listening. An angry person just wants someone to vent their anger to. That's what it is. They just want to vent their anger. And you happen to be that sounding board. That means you should do your best to listen carefully to what they are saying. Don't roll your eyes. Don't look around. Don't space out and be distracted. Give that person your undivided attention. Believe it or not, that really goes a long way for them to know that you are engaged in listening to what their complaint is. It takes patience to listen. It takes skill to pretend you're listening. You need to make eye contact and listen to what they are saying. try to determine these three things. What happened to make them upset? What do they want? And what can you do to help? So in this scenario, what happened to make them upset? Well, somebody fell out on the ice. What do they want? They want that ice gone. They don't want anyone else to fall. They want to feel secure. Okay? What can you do to help? You can offer to go out and get it taken care of immediately. In building relationships with the staff members in your building, it's not a bad idea to create a database, whether it's on the computer, whether it's a list, however you do this. But things such as, where appropriate, staff phone numbers. For example, when I was a head custodian, I wrote down which classroom, which teacher, their phone numbers, so in case there was some kind of an emergency, I could get a hold of them. Mail or email address so that I could get a hold of them electronically if I needed to. Just different ways that I could get a hold of people if there was some kind of an emergency. The more detailed your staff database, the better you will be able to respond appropriately to situations and meet that person's needs. Okay, so let's say that Mr. Anderson is in room 104 and you have a number for him and you have an email address for him. You also know that in that room he has some lizards and some snakes and things such as that, and you put this in your database. Okay, in a situation where there's a problem in the building and you know, oh, I need to check on his animals, make sure that they're okay. If there's a problem, a situation where there's a problem with them, then you will be able to contact that teacher and help them to understand that they need to come take care of this issue immediately. So again, people really give you a lot of credibility if you are a good communicator. And to be a good communicator, you have to have a good database, a good knowledge of each of the people in your building. Doing something. Problems will not solve themselves. Problems will not solve themselves. So this person who had come up to you earlier and was complaining about the ice that's outside, that's not just going to solve itself immediately. I mean, eventually, in the summertime, it'll warm up and it'll be gone, but it's not going to solve itself right now. So you need to do something. You know, not getting back to a person or a key staff member is a recipe for disaster. Can you imagine where a principal would come to you and say, hey, we've got this problem with such and such a classroom. Can you get a work order sent in for it? So yeah, I'll get it taken care of. And you never get back to that principal. A few weeks later, there's another complaint. Hey, this problem still hasn't been taken care of. And they come to you and ask, how come that problem hasn't been taken care of? I forgot to send in the work order. No, you need to make sure that you follow up. We call this the follow-up factor. If somebody asks you to do something, or if somebody has a concern, okay, don't just say, I'll take care of it. Go off and take care of it. Go off and take care of it, but then report back to that person and let them know you took care of it. Don't lose credibility. Make sure that you follow up. And trust me, people can think, oh, I wonder if that guy really took care of that. Make sure that you follow up. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. And again, that follow-up is a critical piece to building a positive relationship with anybody. Think about different scenarios you have at home, different relationships, whether it's a partner, whether it's a family member, whether it's a best friend, whatever. How important is it to follow up with some kind of a problem or complaint that's brought to you? Here's one that a lot of folks have a hard time with, and that is apologize and sympathize. So let the person know that you're genuinely sorry. Even if you think they're being a bit dramatic. So You've got this person who's making the complaint, all animated, all upset at you because of this person that slipped out there on the ice. Let them know, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened. That shouldn't have happened. Even if you think they're being over dramatic or blowing this all out of proportion, you never let them know that. I'm very sorry that happened. That shouldn't have happened. Sometimes a person just wants to feel heard. Sometimes they just want to vent about it. They know that it's cold out there. They know that it's treacherous out there. They make it so angry because somebody fell, Sometimes they just want to feel heard. Often the customer or coworker will cool down a bit once you apologize. Think about that. You apologize. Say, I'm very sorry, sir, or ma'am, I'm very sorry that this happened. It really shouldn't have happened. I'll do everything in my power to get this taken care of immediately. Quite often, whoever that is, they're going to cool right down. Showing empathy will make a person understand that you are really trying to help. Show them that you care about the problem and understand why they are upset. Instead of just, this is so stupid. Can't these people understand it? It's wintertime and they don't wear the right shoes and it's wintertime, for heaven's sakes, it's Utah. No, you can't think that way. You have to be empathetic. And you need to help them to understand you are really trying to help. I really want to get this taken care of. Show them that you care about the problem and understand why they are upset. So again, action quite often is a good part of that. I will get this taken care of immediately. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I wasn't aware of it. I'll get right on top of it. Repeating concerns. Quite often somebody will come to you, and Robin has a good way of putting this. He calls it verbal regurgitation. They just come up to you and barf all over you with words. Okay. Once the person is done venting, make sure you know what they're upset about. Because sometimes they just rant on and you're really not 100% sure what they're upset about. So repeat what you think the person is upset about and ask questions. So help me to understand where exactly this happened. Was over by the ramp, and there's some ice there, and people are falling because there is not adequate salt, or there's no salt on that area. Is that what I'm hearing correctly? Repeating the concern lets the person know that you were listening and will also clarify the problem that needs to be fixed. Keep in mind, folks, that we are all in this together. I really like this from High School Musical, the term, we are all in this together, because we are. Let's work together. Let's be good customer service people. And it's not just this job. Again, anything we try to teach you folks, yeah, it's applicable here, absolutely. But it's also applicable everywhere else in life. Let's work together to solve the issues, to get to know people, to build these relationships, to build that credibility. You will be looked at as a person of integrity. You will be looked at as a professional. So, thanks for checking this out today, and check out some of our other good training videos. Have a good one.